I've talked about this a lot, and I don't know that we've ever gotten to a conclusion. How does an airplane land on a surface that's moving if it's treating it as stationary?
Gently.
That's
Well,
a
that
quick
doesn't
one.
really
Because
answer.
the surface isn't moving with respect to the plane.
Sure, it is. Well, if it starts out at a different conserved momentum, and the plane goes towards the equator where it's 1,000 miles an hour, and the conserved momentum doesn't match, even if the pilots were trained to accelerate to match the momentum or the tangential velocity of the equator speed, they would have to keep accelerating in that direction as they're trying to land.
No, but the plane doesn't teleport from one place to the next.
I never said that. Why would you think that a teleport?
Well, because you're making the comparison between its tangential speed when it starts and when it ends, and you aren't taking account of anything that happens in between.
No, even if incrementally it were to accelerate the amount that it would need to make up the difference, it can't not continue accelerating while it's slowing down to land because then it's going to be out of sync and the Earth is moving at a different speed.
But it isn't. It isn't. It's moving at the same speed.
Here's one for you then.
But
How do they
it
land
can't
an
be.
how do they land an F-16 on a moving aircraft carrier? Yeah, the F-16 does a backflip, and I ain't joking. It does a backflip onto the deck. I have shit you
Right.
know.
And it takes special training for people to land on aircraft carriers, and they don't tell the pilots that land on the Earth to do any kind of special training or even take it.
Right, because the aircraft isn't moving with respect to the Earth. It hasn't retained the tangential speed it had when it took off. And that's what you're doing. You're saying when it took off,
Wait a minute,
it was going at this
So if
speed.
you're going
How
east
can
or
it-
west, and
How
you
can
need to
it
land north
possibly?
and
How
south,
can it
how does that
possibly
work?
land at the speed it took off at that tangential speed? But it isn't, is it? It's been traveling all that time.
Right, but how do you know that it's going to always be in sync automatically?
Because the plane isn't moving with respect to the Earth.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't it be?
I mean, it doesn't, when it takes off, it doesn't stop being part of the Earth. When it's on the Earth, you would say it's rotating at 1,000 miles an hour. When it takes off, the instant it leaves the ground, it doesn't stop rotating at 1,000 miles an hour.
I didn't say that. I'm saying even if it did, if it started at 500 mile per hour latitude, right? And it's only going 500 miles per hour with the Earth.
Anyway, I'm bored. I'm kind of bored of this now. I've given my answer. I've given my answer.
That's why.
I've given the answer. I did give you what have I just? Don't tell me there was no answer.
You didn't even let me finish my last statement.
I gave you an answer. Listen, I gave you an answer.
You didn't even let me finish my last.
Let me finish my sentence. I gave you an answer. Don't lie and say there was no answer. That's a lie. You're lying when you say that. You were given an answer. You don't accept it. Okay,
no,
fine. I don't want to argue with this any longer.
I'm saying there's a difference of 500 miles per hour.
If you want more information on it, Google it or something. But I've given you my answer. I've given you my answer. If you don't accept it, fine. I don't care.
Okay, run away, Jim. Come on.
I'm not running away. I'm still here.
Yes, you are.
I just don't see the point in us going round and round in circles with you sea lining me like this. It's just ridiculous. I don't play the flat Earth game. I don't do it.
I thought you were here to talk about it.
Yeah, but I don't play the flat Earth game. I don't do the thing where I bring evidence to flat earthers and they sit there with their arms folded telling me why they don't believe it. I don't do that.
Looking for the evidence.
I don't do that. I get that you don't believe it. I get you don't believe it or don't accept it or possibly don't understand it. That's fine. That's fine. I wonder why you aren't
letting you beg the question. Now
I wonder why you aren't able to. I wonder why you aren't able to let another.
Now you're muting me. Why are you funding
No, you're doing that to me. Every time I've spoken, you start speaking. You know why? Because you're an ignorant fuck who's scared of reasoning, like all of you lot are.
Scared.
Scared. All of you are scared. You're scared of reasoning. You don't want to hear it.
That's funny.
This is funny. Because you know what? The 500 mile per hour difference wouldn't be made up for unless the pilot was trained to do so, or the plane was able to accelerate sideways as it's headed south, and there'd be a
Oh,
500
yeah,
mile per
that
hour
would be
difference.
true if
You
the
have an
plane
answer for
could
that. What's your answer
teleport.
for that?
But the
What's
plane
your answer for
doesn't
that?
teleport, and you're an idiot
I
for
didn't say it
thinking that it
teleports.
does.
I never said it teleports. It's straw man.
Well,
I never said it
for what
teleports.
you're describing, it would have to.
So you're saying the pilot's trained to
I'm
incrementally
not going to argue this
accelerate
with
the
you
plane?
anymore.
Oh, that's right, because you don't have an answer.
I've given you the answer. You're
What's the
lying.
answer?
You're lying when you say you don't
You're
have an
saying
answer.
it doesn't
That's a
automatically,
lie
it
that
doesn't
you're having to
automatically.
tell yourself. It's a
The
lie that you.
autopilot does it.
It's a lie that you're telling yourself to keep
I'm just not
deluding
sure what your
yourself.
answer was. Could you clarify what your answer is for me?
No, I've said it
No?
more than once. It doesn't
Okay. You
require.
don't
It
want to
doesn't
clarify because
require
you know
any
there's no answer.
clarification. Doesn't require that.
Yeah, I
If you
understand.
didn't get it, then you weren't paying attention. And if you weren't paying
It
attention,
destroys
I'm
the
not going to
globe. I
waste
understand,
my
but you don't.
time saying it again to
Right.
someone who isn't paying attention.
So you're saying because it doesn't teleport, it does it incrementally, and the pilot's not trained to do so, but somehow it does it on its own. And even if it did do it on its own and accelerate the extra 500 miles per hour to be in sync with the Earth, it would have to continue accelerating with the Earth as it tries to slow down to land, and that would be impossible, which is why we know it's not a space. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. You must be very proud of that childish misunderstanding of
It's
how
so
aircraft.
childish. How did I misunderstand? Please explain. I'm here to learn.
I've
I'm here
told
to
you
learn.
how
Can
you.
you tell
I've
me how
told
I
you how you've
misunderstood it?
misunderstood.
I never said it
Repeatedly.
teleports.
You notice how you can't. You ask me a question, and then you ask me a question, and then immediately start blathering over the answer,
I'm
lest there
seeking
be
your help.
one. Because if
Please
you heard
explain it
the
to
answer,
me.
you wouldn't be able to lie and say there wasn't an answer, would you?
I'm not lying. I'm just trying to get the
Well, you
answer. I'm
were
trying to
lying.
figure out how the globe actually
You said
explains
we
it.
didn't
How's the
get an
globe explain
answer,
it?
which was a lie, wasn't it? It was a lie that you made up because you did get an answer.
What's the lie?
The lie was we didn't get an answer when you did.
But you wouldn't give your answer. You don't
I
even want
gave
to
you an
repeat it.
answer. You didn't accept it. Then you said, so there's no
No, you
answer then.
strawman me.
Because you're a liar, making shit up to try and pretend that the Earth's
You
flat
said it doesn't
and
teleport. That
try
was
and
your answer.
pretend
It doesn't
and
teleport.
try and pretend that the education you squandered, that doesn't matter anymore because now you're one of the clever people who knows the secret hidden stuff.
It's not secret hidden. I mean, there must be a secret hidden answer that the globe has for this one because there isn't one, as far as I can find out.
Oh, you
There's no way to
Google
make up
it.
the 500 mile per hour difference.
Google it, you
There's no way
idiot.
to make up the
Don't
difference.
be a
You'd have to
planet.
accelerate as you're trying
How
to
does a
land.
plane land on a moving Earth? Oh my God!
Right. Especially if the pilot's treating it as stationary.
When a helicopter takes off, the Earth just starts whizzing along underneath it.
I didn't say
doesn't it?
that. I was letting you beg the question with the conserved momentum. I'm saying if it starts at 500 miles per hour and it has that conserved momentum, and we say, okay, it's going to 500 miles per hour eastward tangentially. Now it needs to go 1,000 miles per hour by the time it gets to the equator. Even if it does it incrementally, doesn't teleport, how's it going to continue accelerating as it's trying to slow down to land? What's your answer?
You're awesome. I've given you my answer.
Why
do you
hope
keep
there was an
asking?
answer in there somewhere?
Why
Right?
do you keep asking for the same question over and over again and expecting?
I didn't get the answer to that.
Yeah, you did.
You can't even repeat it.
Why would I bother? It's just a game, dude, isn't it? You're just playing a game.
It's a game, right? It's a game
You don't
saying,
care
"Oh,
what-
the pilot
you don't
is
care
stationary, even though it's moving." That sounds like a game to me. That doesn't make any sense. That defies all common sense.
You want it to not make sense. You're trying to have it not make sense because if it
Absolutely not.
Because if you can pretend that it doesn't make sense, you can pretend that you know about the thing that doesn't make sense, and you're clever because you know it. That's why it doesn't make sense. That's why it doesn't make sense. Because when it doesn't make sense, you feel good. It makes you feel good to think that it doesn't make sense. And to think that you've discovered that it doesn't make sense, that makes you feel clever. And you're not used to feeling clever, are you? Most of the time in your life, you have not felt clever, have you?
You know what? I haven't really kept track. I'm wondering now. Have I felt clever all my life? I don't know. This doesn't make me feel clever. This makes me feel like I have common sense. I think common sense doesn't really make you clever.
Oh, yeah. The argument from common sense. That's a good fallacy.
Yeah.
Do you know about that?
Why is that a fallacy? Common sense is a fallacy now?
News to me. Arguing from common sense is a fallacy.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I don't think being logical is a fallacy.
Explain this fallacy to me, please. What's the definition of this fallacy?
Okay.
Can you explain it, please? Using
You're appealing to common sense. You're abandoning reasoning,
declaration
and
of it.
you're just saying this is known and it's inherently known. I don't need to explain it. It's just known.
Well, you won't even explain it. You're just saying I must have given you an answer, and I'm not going to give it again.
I gave you an answer. Yeah, I did, and I explained it.
What was the answer? How
and
did it make up the 500-mile-per-hour difference?
Now we're not going to play the flat Earth game. It's not going to happen, dude. I don't do this. Okay, I've done more than I should do already.
It's your server, Jim. I'm not going to.
If you want to establish,
I'm not going to push you to be embarrassed here.
If you want to establish that the Earth is flat, you need to do things, and the thing you need to do is not go into Discord servers and demand that Globers deliver evidence to you. That's not the way forward. That's not the way forward for you.
I thought there must be an answer.
Over me. I wonder why that.
I figured there must be an answer I didn't know, but there isn't one because you don't either. You don't have an answer.
You're playing a game, dude. You don't care what the answer is. You want to play a game.
I do. I'd like to know the answer.
You want to feel like you're best. You want to feel like you're besting someone on the internet because then you can pretend that the Earth's flat. The Earth isn't flat.
No.
The
pilot pretends that it's flat. How does the pilot pretend that it's flat? And then if it's moving and he's pretending it's flat, how can the pilot treat it as stationary and flat if it's actually moving? That's what I'm trying to say. What kind of game is being played here, really?
You were so gullible. You were so gullible. You fell for an internet meme. You could not. It's a display. This is a display. It's like putting neon lights on yourself, saying, "I am totally gullible. I will believe any old shit that's put in."
You're projecting crazily right now.
You're showing the world right now.
You were really projecting right now, so efficiently, because you're the one saying that it must make sense, even though it contradicts itself completely for a pilot to treat the Earth as stationary if it's actually moving.
Didn't say any words like that. Didn't say any words that meant anything close to that. That's all completely made up. I wonder why
I'm saying everything you're saying to me was projecting the way you feel about yourself.
You can't even remember what I've said now because you're making it up.
I can't remember the answer you gave because I don't think you gave one.
Because you don't care. You're not interested in the answer. You're interested in pretending you're clever. You're not, dude. You're a dumbass.
I'm pretending the Earth is stationary and level when I land the plane.
You're a dumbass that fell for bullshit on the internet. It was silly of you. You were wrong. You were wrong. The Earth's never going to be. Nobody's ever going to say the Earth's flat. You're dumbasses that believe.
I don't care if the Earth's flat. I just experience a stationary level Earth just like everybody else.
Listen, guys, hold on, Dave. If the Earth is stationary, the pilots treat it like it's moving, and vice versa.
Oh, right? What about that? Easy. If it was actually stationary, should they treat it like it's moving? That would be a good thing.
Why don't you two idiots show us something that establishes the Earth?
Just go outside and have your.
Have you got anything? No. Exactly you haven't. What can you tell us about the flat Earth?
100% of your experience every single day, every one of us for the rest of our lives.
Flat Earth isn't about knowing things, is it? Flat Earth is about not knowing things. It's about being able to say. It's about looking at the moon. It's about looking at the moon and going, "We don't know what it is. It's an enigma." And looking at the sun and going, "I don't know what it is." And looking at the horizon and going, "I don't know what that is." And the ISS, "We don't know what it is." It's an ideology of ignorance, isn't it? It's like,
well, you'd rather believe the stories about them, right? You just have a story because you don't want to be a not knowing position. You'd rather believe the fairy tale.
Flat Earth's goal is ignorance, isn't it? It's what things can we not know today?
Hey Jim, I love you. I love you, Jim. I love your rants. I love your feist. I love the fact that you're here doing this. I'm just coming in to give you a little ribbon. All good, man. I've listened to you for years. You've provided me a lot of entertainment.
You all need to be told this. I mean, it's unfortunate that you fell for this, but you did fall for it, and that's.
Well, I can't understand how a pilot could treat the Earth as stationary if it's actually moving. That's not falling for it. You don't have an answer for that.
You see, you can only play the flat Earth game. You can't actually engage in a conversation.
It's not a game. It's a real question. You don't have an answer for it.
Yeah, but that's all you can do is just keep doing your sea lion.
I don't know. If you had an answer, I could be, on my way.